The day has finally come and all of us are excited, and I'm here to break down Blade & Sorcery's official full release trailer, the game releasing on PCVR on June 17th, and of course releasing for the Meta Quest sometime in the future, but we don't know that as of right now. Welcome back to Downloadable Content. Today we are going to be breaking this down. Sit back, relax, and let's dive right into this. So, I don't have my cipher in front of me, and I'm actually not smart enough to do this one, but it looks like there's some sort of clue right here, and you can also see in the background, past where this player is casting a fireball, we can see a door. Now, this door is very similar to the one we see in the cave, which begs the question. Is this the entrance to the new Dalgarian dungeon? Has the cave in the player home been redesigned to have this new entryway? So that's kind of where I'm thinking right now, that the U12 cave was just kind of like a little bit of a placeholder, and they've redesigned it, and this is going to be the entryway. These are also some symbols on here, and I remember talking to Baron and him telling us that these symbols require a cipher that could be a skill that the player gets, possibly linked to the quote-unquote mind skill tree. However, Baron also mentioned that there is a way of playing the game without having these symbols actually turned on. It automatically decrypts it for you. So I doubt that you're going to be able to turn that on and have things like these assets instantly translated for you, but that would be cool. Let's keep this rolling and see where this goes. Right here also is showing some brand new environments, obviously in the new Dalgarian zone. I say obviously just because of the way everything looks. We have an open skybox, as you see at the very top here. But this room that we're taking a look at right now with this nice like 2-point perspective we're seeing, it also looks like you can go down. A zipline rope leads down to some rubble down there, which I think is really cool. A nice little wooden beam that you can walk across, and I hope that this area is making use of some awesome breakables as well. I would love to see that. Climbing enthusiasts, of course, go nuts in this room. I'm sure you can climb around. What I don't see is, or as I should say, no enemies right now in this room, so I wonder how their pathing is going to be. Right now, Blade & Sorcery NPCs trip over themselves, so if you can walk across this plank, I want to see if others can, or they'll just fall to their ultimate doom, but it's really interesting right now. Then we have this open kind of like cave system. Let's take a step back for a sec. So this little open zone right here, take a look. I paused it at the perfect time, second 14 of the trailer. This looks exactly like the entryway that we just took a look at. Let's take special note here. Look at the shape of this door. Nice circle, right? If we go to the very beginning trailer, I'm going to jump to second 4. Look at that door. You see that? Looks like a different perspective. Looks like we've walked up those stairs and we just opened it. And now let's jump back to the start of second 14. That is almost the exact same door. So I feel like the moment this opens up in the cave, you're just done, let's say, with the tutorial. The player gets to their home, or they get right to the cave entrance. Maybe they wash up on the beach area is what I'm thinking. The moment you open this door, I can almost guarantee you, I say that just by speculation, that this is the starting point, similar to the outpost originally that we know and love has a starting point. It looks like this is a starting point for the Dalgarian ruins. I think you can also see a little waterfall down here, so maybe we could do a quick leap of faith, which would be awesome. I wonder just for the trailer if they didn't put NPCs around. I mean, I can see like a shadowy figure up over here, but I digress. So if this is a starting area, it looks like you can go multiple zones. Down here is like an instant way to the left. There's another one you can see in the bottom left as well. There's climbing spots, and there's a bunch of things to do just in the starting area alone. I can't wait to just get in there and explore this thing. Not even just to walk through the cave. I want to explore every dungeon. You can see like another long dam zone right here. It looks like we also have like a homage to everything fantasy, you know, Lord of the Rings with these two statues standing there. But a cool bridge, which I believe we're going to see later. Some combat on that bridge, which is really cool. I'm excited like I said before, to see the enemy pathing, how they handle these very intricate zones. We have a big dam that obviously is crumbled in the middle and it narrows. So one-on-one combat, even though if you're surrounding, you see multiple enemies, it's going to be one at a time coming at you. So I can't wait to just explore this once again. This looks really cool. The environment is amazing. And the team outdid themselves, obviously, in the screenshot alone. But if we look to the left, in the lower left, we see, mountain-esque, I say mountain-esque, which is wrong, but a rock facade on your left, mind you. Now, other parts in the outpost had some open zones, but when you go to them, there is like an invisible collision point, meaning the player can go no further. So I wonder if you just jumped down and started to swim, if there's going to be something that blocks you, or if we'll see an invisible force field. I hope we don't see an invisible force field. That was some of the critical feedback. I let them know about the outpost in general, but we all know that you can't go everywhere in a game like this, especially the way their dungeon system works, where things load and unload in front of you. So I am interested to see, with the freedom of these new dungeons and the Dalgarian ruins, does the immersion break when you get to certain zones? Now, look at that door opening right there. I'm going to keep pausing it, but that door opening was so cool. We've seen doors, right? But that door opening animation, it looks like you had to imbue that. Am I wrong? Let's look again. Yeah, you see that little energy opening to the left? It almost looks like the player had to do something and imbue the door to open it. Maybe you can't just go to these ruins right away. Maybe you have to technically start in the original outpost that we know and love, get something there, and then go. Because in the next screenshot, I know they're trying to show the skill tree, but take a look at this. Look at that. Is that not done on purpose? That is a new gravity staff, one of the newer weapons, and you see something else in the corner over there that we can take a look at in a sec. Almost looks like a dartboard, but that is a gravity imbued staff, and they just showed a door that looked like the same type of gravity. So I think that adds some credibility to that speculation there, that you're going to have to imbue it. Maybe different powers means a different dungeon, who knows? It's just kind of fun to talk about. This is new also in the player home, not the vines, but this little almost dartboard-esque. I wonder if that's currently the skills you have unlocked, because on the left-hand side of that dartboard almost looks like the mind skill is almost unlocked, where like you have a halo effect silhouetting a character. So that would be pretty cool if you almost have like your way your character is built, if it shows it through this little dartboard, because I wonder with your skill trees if it can get really confusing if you start to unlock things. So I'm going to play this in just a sec, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. See right here? So the player, I say he, I assume it's Baron that recorded it. The player was looking at that little dartboard thing, then looked to the left over here. So those two are definitely connected. But I wonder, let's say you're halfway through your one playthrough and you've unlocked tons of skills. Are they going to overlap over this little obelisk here? Or does that little dartboard thing kind of play a role? Now, another thing I want to talk about is people were speculating about a day and night cycle. No, it's been confirmed there's no day and night cycle, at least on the player home. There might not even be a day and night cycle in the game at all. But you can also see through the daylight cracks in the doors that it's still daylight in this one. So I just wanted to clear that up. Just all these zones, I want to explore all of them. Verticality is amazing, especially in VR. Climbing something that's massive and way bigger than the player on flat screen, you're like, yeah, okay, I've seen this 100 times. In VR, that translates to something beyond amazing. And if they have foveated rendering in this, that would look crazy. It would look insane. But as we take a step back again and look at that, I wonder if this is just leads into the loot aspect of it all. Now, remember, Blade and Sorcery, of course, is a combat simulator with weaponry and magic, but there's also loot. And the next little thing I'm going to show you gives some more credibility as this player is climbing up from obviously below. Maybe they were looting something, and you have all these like different entry points. And once again, I want to call something out. I know I'm digressing, but you see how this slight twinge of purple around? I wonder if once again that gives credibility to how you imbue the start of the door and how it opens means like what type of crystal you're going to unlock or what type of crystals you find in these ruins. So if you imbue it with gravity, does that mean, okay, this is the type of crystals you're going to get? If you imbue it with fire, if you imbue it with, I don't know, mind juice, maybe that changes these different aspects on these ruins, as you can see. But like I said, I digress. I think down here the player, it was looting, and if you look into the next thing I'm going to show you, it's immediate loot. Take a look at this. Boom, right into the loot. So it's kind of showing you that, like, hey, remember, there's more to this game than just, you know, chopping things up and shooting lasers. It's about finding really cool things. If we look inside here, you can see obviously a health potion. We can see an iron ingot, and then obviously some other loot. But look, I'm pretty sure that's one of a crystal shard, maybe not a full crystal, that the player found by opening a chest. So it just reminds you to explore. It's not just a murder simulator, that you're involved in this world and says, hey, let's explore this together. So I'm very excited to see that. What we're about to take a look at broke Blade and Sorcery's Discord. Just completely smashed it, because if you've seen this already, you're not going to know what I'm talking about. Not the skull. You're going to see something. So here we go. Ready? Yeah, that is a stone golem. So that means there's new AI. This is one of the surprises that Cosby and team kept so tightly for so long. If you remember in the roadmap, they said a surprise. They've been saying it since like U7, a special surprise. And I'm so happy that no one leaked this, that no one even breathed this one, because this thing is called Hector. Hector the Well-Endowed. And this golem is stone and he messes you up. Just take a look at what this golem can do. So that golem was about to shoot, looks like a gravity type laser. And once again, I'm pretty sure that how you start the dungeons determines what type of golem is in those dungeons. You see, they're about to do some gravity blast. He looks amazing. Obviously, he has some like Legend of Zelda weak points on him, some Dragon's Dogma weak points, where those other little blue crystal zones where you probably have to smack them to break them, which is really cool. And I wonder if the laser blast that golem shoots, or I should say Hector shoots, can you block that with your shield? How cool would that be to have to block that stuff or hit it back Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time style? But oh my lord, when we saw Hector the Well-Endowed, goodness, broken. It just means so much. But let's talk about what else it means. If you're just a traditional player, you're going in for an experience, boom, you get some crystals, you drop some bodies, and you fight this golem, and you're like, wow, that was awesome. But if you are a player that downloads mods and uses mods, you will know that this is pretty much new AI behavior. So of course a modder can get their hands on this one and use this AI to make newer things. The skeletal system is there, the animations are there. So what can we have now with this one? We can already make the NPCs into like goblins and skeletons and stuff with those animations, but what can someone make with this one? This Hector guy can shoot a laser, so can they turn this into a dragon that breathes fire at you? Maybe. How about a giant snake? How about a really creepy looking spiders for all of you, or arachnophobia people? But oh my god, the possibilities right now, endless, thanks to Hector the Well-Endowed. Now there's still some like other gameplay aspects of this one as you take a step back. The player is once again on Canyon. I don't know if this is someone just messing around and sandbox once again, or if this is like, hey, by the way, there's also, you could do this one. Like, do you visit the dungeons and then can you visit the sandbox maps? Do the sandbox maps play a role in the base game? And when I say base game, I mean the main quote unquote progressive story mode. Do you say, hey, I'm going to the Dalgarian ruins, and now those ruins let out, and now I'm in the canyon? Because remember, the canyon also has a door in the very back of it, so it's possible. Now, this is really cool. The player was interacting with almost like a place of power, Witcher style. It's not a save point, because I doubt there's going to be checkpoints, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there will be checkpoints. But what is this? Is this giving the player more power because we know you unlock skills using the obelisk and the player home. You merge them together and you keep going. So what is this? Does it heal the player when you find it in a dungeon? Does it automatically imbue your weapons? Because we know it's not going to be some gamey thing where it's like you have +1 swing, +2 attack. That's not how Blade and Sorcery works. They want to make sure that almost all things you do are lethal when you do something that's lethal. But what is this? Why is it radiating power? We must know. I can see runes all around it, so it has to be super important. Maybe after you've defeated a Hector, you can bring his broken crystal shard in here, but oh my goodness, just seeing this thing is blowing me away, just in general. Normal gameplay right here. We see some other cool abilities. Of course, we know that the gravity, again, swimming back is still in the game, which is excellent. And of course, we saw some imbue stuff there that we've seen before. But we've also now can see that the enemies and players not only are using things like, of course, a dagger there, and it's an imbued dagger, might I add. So can the NPCs now imbue weapons themselves, or do they automatically stay imbued? The player is using an arch staff right here and making like a nice little electric boom when they hit the ground. And a lot of new variations for NPCs. This person's rocking a blonde style hair pullback, some cool leather-esque armor. I'm very excited just to see all this stuff. I know I keep saying that, but man, so much sorcery is now in Blade and Sorcery. It is ridiculous. Right here, we can see that one of the NPCs is in some sort of down state. They haven't dropped their weapons yet, so I know they're not just doing a death animation. Is this NPC stunned? Is something like Carnage Reborn, a mod made by MemeMad, who works on the Warp Frog team, might I add. It's something like that, make it into the game where the enemies have some sort of downed critical state where you can do finishers. Because I'm going to press play, and you're going to clearly see that this knight is stunned and gets, well, pretty much finished. Check this out. Right? I'm not wrong. He was in a down state, 100% in a down state, and you can tell because he's been eliminated. He's no longer holding his weapons, so I'm pretty sure there's something to that. Maybe a slight tweak in combat. Obviously, daggers can stab through leather and underneath leather when not imbued, which is very important. You can kick people. Now, that looks like it wasn't in slow motion and more maybe to the strength or to the mind skill attribute, but just he roofed her. She is legitimately roofed. He hit right into a column in the arena. That is absolutely amazing. Sliding down ropes, of course, always a vibe. Now look at this. I need to take a step back before we get a close-up on handsome Hector, but let's take a step back for a moment. What the hell are we looking at here? This is some Ark style level shit. You have an obelisk shooting a laser into the sky and clearing the weather. And if you remember, and old screenshots and whatnot, we saw like this star in the sky. You even see it when you're selecting a character currently. There's some like star in the distance. So what is going on here? And might I add something to the hype? We got surprised with Hector, and this is a trailer. Obviously, they're not going to spoil the game in the trailer, but there is an end to Blade and Sorcery Crystal Hunt. It ends. So is there another boss around the corner and you do this and you summon some like Arc Wizard that's very powerful, just as powerful as the player by the end game to make it balance and give you a good ending? What is this? This can't be nothing. I'm telling you, it's not just, oh, this is a cool set piece because they wanted to show the prowess of the technology. Wrong, Patrick. That's not it. There's something way more to this one. It's clearing the sky. Are you going to fight multiple Hectors at once? Who knows? I think there might be another boss at the end of Crystal Hunt, and this is how you summon them. Now, I don't know what's happening here. We're pretty close up for the FOV. Either Hector has picked up the player and is about to launch them into the wall horrifically, or the player has grabbed onto obvious grab points on Hector. You can see them right there, the metal stuff sticking out of it. He's made of stone, so maybe some other things. Do you have to literally pull the crystal out of Hector's chest to defeat him? Who knows? Tune in next week. But, or even better, maybe you can tame Hector and Hector can fight with you. Because obviously the player has been picked up. Just look at this movement. He's climbing. Obviously you're climbing Hector. And Hector's like, huh? Oh, someone's climbing me? He's not punching you off of him. It looked like he looked at you for a quick second. Let's go back. Okay, get ready. Hector's going to look at us. See? Hector turned his head. He's like, wait, you're climbing me? I'm excited to see how badly Hector can mess us up. And then we have some other gameplay. Obviously just knocking Ricky's around. The normal stuff. But this is absolutely huge. When Gravity Imbuement came out and what U12-esque, I think, you used to be able to use the gravity staff to only pick up objects. And by objects, I mean weapons like props, daggers, bows, anything like that. But now that this enemy has been imbued with a gravity-esque weapon, you can then use a gravity staff, probably staff only, to pick them up and just smash them into the sky. What's his name? Not Gandalf, the other guy. I'm so old. Someone help. Saruman. You know, like how Saruman does to Gandalf. That's exactly what you're doing right here. I am so happy they decided to go that route. Super excited. I've been waiting to do that one. The staff needs more love, and 1.0 is going to do it. We have some fire magic going on where you're throwing like a big fireball and just burning the flesh of this poor Ricky, just obliterating him. I am so happy. I need this now, but let's keep going. Gravity punch. Just a gravity punch into a guy that gets hit into breakables. Obviously not staged. That just happened. They're like, yes, put this in this trailer. But oh my God. Just oh my God. This skill tree is going to be nuts. Every player that is playing this game is going to have a different experience almost every time they play because you shape your character. Jack of all trades, a hardcore player, someone's going to be a gravity made. It's nuts, the potential that's going to be in this game. You have this Kamehameha that's not only doing lightning that we normally do, but lightning and fire merge, and it's just destroying everything. And I just want to put one pause right here. And here's what I'm worried about. I've already sent an angry message to Baron, so don't worry. I fear that the player before the end game is going to be too strong because other than Hector, there is no NPC that can stop this. What is this? No shield, no arrow, no mini fireball is going to stop a laser fire Kamehameha wave. So I'm just a little bit worried that even halfway through the game that the player is going to be too strong. By the end of the game, sure, whatever. We've collected the crystals. We should be a powerful wizard. But what? I feel like even just getting telekinesis grip, because remember, magic is now going to be unlimited magic, which I don't think it should be. And if this gets patched in the future, it's probably my fault. I think currently, as you play 1.0, I think magic should still be limited. I know. Hold on, hear me out. Remember, Baron and team said that the game will also have modifiers that you can play Crystal Hunt your own way. Modifiers just like the book. So you should be able to turn on if you want to play with mana on or off. There's already going to be a hardcore mode. So it could be already wrong right now. Maybe hardcore means, it's permadeath and there's also not unlimited magic. I want that experience, but I also want the experience of being able to do Crystal Hunt with unlimited magic. I think about the gameplay balance where doing a laser Kamehameha that no one can block and I could just keep walking through the dungeon just doing it. Why would I stop casting? Unless there's a cooldown, but why would I stop casting? Nothing's going to stop me. So that's the only thing I worry, but let's keep this train rolling. Another cool zone. I know I keep pausing it, but you're watching my video, so suck it. But another cool zone over here. It almost looks like elevators. And by elevators, I mean like high fantasy medieval elevators where they're going across like a rail system, almost like skis. I don't know why I said elevators, but you know what I'm talking about. You go in there and then it keeps going. Can you put someone in there? If I'm right, and this is exactly what I think it is, you could put them in there and then just like hit them. They're trapped in the cage and it's like, okay, goodbye. But so amazing. These Dalgarian ruins are going to be so fun to play on. It's crazy. There's a citadel, and that's the bridge. Okay, good. I'm glad we saw it. I need to go back just a little bit. You see what I'm talking about right here, right? Right after the citadel. Pause, good. player has just punched this poor girl in the face, unfortunately. And the other one is holding strong right on that little broken part of that dam. But like I said, the other guy is not moving. He's like, we will fall together if we do this one. So that's what I mean. I just wonder about the enemy pathing in this one. Are they going to have a hard time getting to the player on more challenging surfaces? Or are they like, no, I've been training for this. I live here. This is totally fine. I think that we're going to still see some tripping, but I wanted to call this out, but it looks so fun to play on, and I can't wait to throw people off. There's also looks like some knockout combat. Once again, this is what I'm saying about different stages of play. So, bonk. Is this just this one might just be a death animation because this dude is not holding anything. He is straight up, look, what he gets hit across the chin. I can't tell if this is just, boom, I'm done and I'm playing a death animation. But he's slowly falling, hit again, and then is kicked, right? And the kick looks like he's moving in slow motion. I think that means he is playing some sort of death animation, or this current player in the trailer had something in their mind skill to make them float while kicking, but I don't know. There could be some downstates and executions or different weapon types do different things, like blunt damage can knock down an NPC that's not wearing a helmet. That would be really cool if it was that intricate. Look at this knife throw. Knife throw with electricity. Did that look like it tracked that next thing that was thrown at it? Take a look at this. So we are going to just go back a little bit. This person, stab, done, right? Drops the dagger, grabs the blade with a no gloved hand, mind you. So that it takes damage. I'm just kidding. It doesn't take damage. It takes that and then just tosses it. Either a really good throw or, yes, it does. I just saw it caught in 4K. That definitely aimbotted down. Take a look again. I should probably put this in slow motion, but I'm not going to do that one. I'm just going to play it frame by frame. As you can see, look, it's going up higher towards the chin and then snaps down because it's imbued by electricity. So that might be a skill, like homing daggers when electrified to the nearest target. That is a cool skill if it's in there. And then you could also see another place right here. It could be a checkpoint. Now that I see another one, that looks like almost a checkpoint-esque, or it's a way to extract from the dungeon without beating it with some of the stuff you already have. So let's say you found 2 crystals and you're like, oh, I really don't want to lose in this dungeon. I'm not that good at the game. I'm trash. Maybe that's an extraction zone. So now Blade and Sorcery is an extraction shooter, but I'm just speculating here. Don't quote me on that one, but that is really cool. More swimming. Looks like they improved the swimming. I hope, though, that they're not just using one type of controllers, because the index swimming did leave something to be desired when U11 came out and U12, or I should say U12, but I hope that they also tested it with index controllers that you can swim. Also, I'm just putting this out there, hint, hint, wink, wink, developers. I hope that 1.0, you did something for full body tracking. I really hope you did do something for full body tracking, because we need that to be overhauled. Also, I just noticed this. Official, I think you spelled official wrong. You missed an I. You did OFF. I don't know what that is. That's not an I right there, because that's an I. I'm doing literally a trailer breakdown, and I'm focusing on your title right now. But look, that's an I right there. That's an I there. What is that? Off. I didn't even, one? Is that a one? Anyway, swimming. We're focusing on swimming. I got to pay attention. Swimming. There's swimming in the game. We already knew that, but I wonder if there's other things to find while swimming. Is there loot down below? We know that you could find the Baron's sword in the player's home. What else can you find? And this is another example of what I'm talking about, where the NPCs are just straight up doomed, where that is a gravity tornado, and they're just like, guess I died. There's nothing they can do. They can't get out of it. They're trash. Hopefully Hector doesn't get sucked up into it, but another example of a super powerful spell that I'm a little worried about balance. See a black hole? A black hole, they're doomed. And there is Hector once again. And okay, another thing we absolutely need to talk about is the devil may cry of it all. Let's just go back real quick. So this man has jumped into the air, and is holding a spear. Spear is made for thrusting, or you can use it to like knock things down. Now, a spear is going to be pretty accurate for poking these crystals, but did you notice that the player goes and then dashes a little bit closer to this thing? Let's take another look. Go, go, go. Then right here, and then they dash once again. So that has to be another skill. Is it part of the mind skill tree? Is it part of gravity? I don't know, but you definitely dashed with a spear, which is awesome. So these Hector boss fights, it seems they're going to be in the game pretty often, but yes. Dude gets knocked down, putting a shot, but oh, you thought I was going to miss that? Baron, you put there for what, 1 second? And you thought me was going to miss that? A feature I've been asking you for like 12 years now. So yes, the player is swinging on a chandelier. Shout out to Baron for swinging on a chandelier. But look at the core of Hector. He is firing a merged lightning beam, which means that enemies using merged spells are in the game. Now, I don't know if this is just locked to Hector being able to do it, but can the NPCs themselves, like higher level wizards, can they fire merge things at you? I want to be able to block that with a shield like this is some sort of like high fantasy anime, like Dragon Ball Z medieval anime. I know this is not even a second frame, but the fact that Hector is shooting a laser at the player means other things can technically do it, which means modders have access to that. So super exciting. Never forget that, of course, Blatant Sorcery is going to be in 1.0, which means it is a full game. But never forget that this game was built from the ground up to be modded in all aspects, from the dungeon to the music to the animations to everything can be modded. So that's why I'm extra excited. And then they just did like a bunch of like, check this out, check this out, check this out. So this, I can't even get there just yet. But we have, after Hector, we have someone merging green crystals right here. They are merging green crystals with the obelisk off in the background. And don't think I'm not noticing this. Is this outside of an outpost? Is this connected to the player home? Like, look at that over there, off in the distance. Maybe after you've summoned and fused enough crystals, that is a crystal portal. Like green might be crystal portals. So maybe you merge these together, because normally you would merge crystals near the obelisk to level up a skill. They've already shown us that's what we do to unlock skills. So maybe you merge those together. That's a portal that leads to that crazy thing over there. So maybe it's almost like a Breath of the Wild thing. We're like, yeah, challenge the end boss whenever you want, idiot. Here's these 2 green crystals to do so, and you can be super weak to do it. Because take a look at the player's arms. This is not just not on purpose. The player's not wearing any gauntlets. They have a raggedy shirt on. Maybe Genix gave it to them. But why would you have a raggedy shirt and merging this one with showing that in the background? Is it carelessness? No. That means you can Breath of the Wild this and fight the end boss whenever you want. Calling it right now. Boom, sucking that one. Now, what is this? Have you guys ever seen that show Supernatural? No? Good. Anyway, in that one, there's a scene where there's like a laser shoots into the sky, and there's like a fire on the roof and stuff, and something spawns from there. What is going on? Why is there a fire laser shooting into the sky? Did the player cause that? Is that the work of Hector? Is that the work of a powerful wizard? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out, because I'm sitting here blowing my own mind with crazy stuff. Just what becomes of this? We must know. And then the trailer ends, and it says Blade and Sorcery VR Fantasy Sword Fighting, and it tells us these little rune symbols, and it gives you a brief hint for how to decode something. Take a look at this. So they say, hey, this is what our language looks like in this game written out, but it gives you a quick hint right here. I'm going to play it. Boom. So those letters meant the end update. So for all you people that can decode ciphers, that's your starting point right here. And of course, coming out June 17th, leaving early access, which means it's coming on PC first on June 17th, and then some upside down question mark for Nomad. After that one, they want to be feature complete and almost in parity, minus the Citadel, coming to Nomad. So hopefully we get Hector, hopefully we get all those skills that we saw, but they don't want to just rush it and say, yes, we're releasing it at the exact same time, and it's a crippling disappointment on Nomad. They want to make sure it's running perfectly fine, because don't forget that although the Quest 3 is out, they need to make sure that this runs well on a Quest 2. So it is, unfortunately, with the Quest 2 might be holding the game back on the Nomad side of things because of the Quest 3, but they don't want to have a Quest 2 build, a Quest 3 build, a PlayStation build, a PC build. They want to make sure that they can do everything great, because there's no point in doing a bunch of things poorly. You want to make sure you do your one or two things well. So that's the news of Nomad. Sorry it took me so long to tell you that one. It wasn't really my focus for this video. But yes, Nomad is around the corner still. Deal with some ambiguity. We don't have a release date just yet. But that was pretty much the trailer. Baron was a super villain and released it at a time where I was super busy. But I'm glad we have that. We all get our hands on it. And by all, I mean, once again, PC players on June 17th. Of course, stay tuned to the channel. I'm going to have some interviews with the devs. Maybe even a surprise person shows up for that interview. I will have playthroughs. I will have lives on 1.0. You know me here. And of course, mod showcases will be popping up. Mod showcase Monday and stuff. Not that it's going to be on hiatus. There is a potential where we might miss 1 or 2 weeks because there either might be no mods, or I don't want to mod the game just yet because there's so much to do. Mod Showcase Monday might turn into Breakdown Mondays or whatever the hell I'm going to call it. Doesn't matter, but make sure you stay tuned to the channel, which means subscribe. It's literally free to do so. Like this video, share this video, ping all the devs in the Discord, tell them to watch this video and leave me angry comments. Of course, add your speculations down below. But thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching my video. Sorry it was a little bit late on this one, but I am Drifter from Downloadable Content. You have been extremely excited, and I will see you guys next time.